Have a fun video you'd like to see featured on NCW Life? Email us at newsphotos@ncwlife.com. Good Monday evening and welcome to the NCW Life Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And after some storminess over the weekend, just a little bit and a little bit of wind yesterday, we did see some clouds today. Temperatures remained below normal around north central Washington. As we take a look down at the valley from our Wenatchee Heights Sky-Fi Tower cam, and you can see still some clouds out there. But it's greening up as well. We're into spring now, and we will see some more moisture coming, not so much our way, but the mountain passes tonight, and once again tomorrow we are going to see some snow. In fact, we could see up to a foot of snow beginning tonight in our early morning hours, also during the day today, and once again tonight we will see snow with warming road conditions throughout the day today, and then more moderate snow tonight in the mountain passes, and we are talking Snoqualmie and Stevens, where once again we could see over a foot of new snow fall tonight and into our early morning hours of Tuesday. We'll talk more about that and what our week holds in store for us weather-wise a little bit later on. And now a few of the news stories we're following for you tonight. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office made a huge drug discovery last week in an impounded car. And a judge has sentenced a former East Wenatchee Water District Commissioner to over 4 years in prison for molesting an 8-year-old boy. But first, we begin tonight. Wenatchee and Eastmont High School students took to the streets of Wenatchee Saturday with their message of hope for safer schools. The March for Your Life event brought out over 500 enthusiastic supporters for a pre-march rally in the parking lot of the old Hastings bookstore.
Thoughts and prayers won't bring back the students of Sandy Hook. It won't bring back the 17 victims of the Parkland shooting. It won't bring back the hundreds of lives lost. We demand change. Ban bump stocks. Ban high-capacity magazines. Require safes in homes. Pass laws to reform education. Improve mental health. Do something! Students, teachers, parents, community members, we are out here today to make a change. We are using our voices for those who cannot. A walkout or a march are not enough. When Washington State voted on the ban of bump stocks a few weeks ago, Senator Brad Hawkins, Representative Mike Steele, and Representative Carrie Canada all voted against it. They failed our communities when we needed them the most. We need to vote for government officials who will do something to protect us. We need to contact our legislators and representatives and demand they make change in our communities. Who is 18? Or at least 18. Here's a better question. Who is not registered to vote yet?
Right here. Register here.
We have a registration booth today. If you are 18 and able to register to vote and use democracy to your power. Thank you all for being part of this march today. This is the start of a conversation, so let's continue it. Up next, speaking is Beth Chivilicek.
The march was well attended and well behaved. There were no counter demonstrations as the march procession ended at Memorial Park. The event was one of hundreds held around the country in memory of the victims of the Parkland, Florida school shooting. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office shared this photo on their Facebook page over the weekend. The sheriff reports a deputy impounded a vehicle in the Wenatchee area on March 21st. During a search of the vehicle, they found 18 pounds of methamphetamine inside. No one has been apprehended yet in that investigation, and that investigation does continue. Well, a judge has sentenced a former East Wenatchee Water District Commissioner to over 4 years in prison for molesting an 8-year-old boy. Mccourt was in Douglas County Superior Court last week, where visiting Judge David Estudillo sentenced him to 51 months in prison. Mccourt had agreed to a plea deal in which he pleaded guilty to child molestation after originally being charged with child rape. Mccourt also admitted to committing additional child sex crimes dating back to the 1980s. His sentence also requires he register as a sex offender and remain under court monitoring the rest of his life. Mccourt lost his bid for re-election to the Water District. He also loses his position as Commissioner of the Douglas County Sewer District because of the felony conviction. Washington State Patrol says 3 people were injured in a 2-vehicle crash near Mattawa early Sunday morning. The accident happened when a 2012 Kia ran a stop sign at the intersection of State Route 243 and Road 26, about 2 miles south of Mattawa. The Kia struck a 2015 Chrysler driven by a Desert Air resident. Following the collision, both vehicles came to rest, blocking that intersection. Both drivers and a passenger in the Chrysler were injured in the crash and transported to Cadlick Medical Center in Richland. The driver of the Kia was charged with failure to yield the right-of-way and vehicular assault. State Patrol says either drugs or alcohol were involved in the accident, and the investigation continues. Coming up next, Congressman Dan Newhouse criticizes support to reintroduce grizzly bears to the North Cascades, and Pybus Market played host Saturday to an event that put the spotlight on volunteerism and the multitude of charitable organizations right here in the Wenatchee area. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life Evening News.
Hi, I'm Cordell Schroeder, owner of East Wenatchee Mobile Storage.
If you're thinking about making a move anytime soon, check out the East Wenatchee Mini Storage brand new mobile storage service. They drop it off at your location, you pack it, and they pick it up and store it in their protected warehouse at East Wenatchee for as long as you need. When you're ready, they'll drop it off at your new home or office. East Wenatchee Mini Storage is excited to offer this brand new service to our region.
Call 509-884-8643 or find us on the web at ewministorage.com.
Hello, Wenatchee Valley. Christian Shaman here with Bay Equity Home Loans.
Make your dream of building your own home a reality today. Bay Equity Home Loans has teamed up with Real Homes to make building your new home a smooth process. Bay Equity Home Loans of Wenatchee offers new construction loans, FHA 3.5% down, and VA 100% construction loans.
Stop on by or give us a call today.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to come down and check out what we're all about at Badger Mountain Brewing.
Great beer, good food, and an endless source of entertainment for the whole family. Our Honey Blonde beer is flying off the shelves at your local grocery store. But I tell you what, it's even better on tap. And while you're here, try our signature Badger sauce with one of our delicious meals. Whether you're in the mood for a wrap, salad, pizza, or nachos, Badger Mountain Brewing has what you're looking for.
Welcome back. In other news, Congressman Dan Newhouse has issued a statement criticizing remarks made by U.S. Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke in support of reintroducing grizzly bears to the North Cascades. Zinke spoke on Friday in Cedro-Woolley, declaring his support for the plan. He said, "I've dealt with grizzly bears all my life," and added, "I'm in support of the great bear, and I'm also in support of doing it right." Federal officials looking to restore the grizzly bear population released a draft plan last year with 4 options, ranging from taking no action to verifying efforts to capture grizzly bears from other locations and transplant them to 9,800 square miles of mostly public land in and around the North Cascades National Park. Congressman Newhouse said it was a disappointment that Secretary Zinke did not speak with him first. He said he's heard from his constituents in central Washington that reintroducing grizzly bears was a bad idea and that the federal government should listen to and respect the local community. The National Park Service and U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service worked on drafting the environmental impact statement for several years. After being published for public opinion, it was met with mixed reaction. Recently, his department stopped the EIS, but it's unclear why. Zinke did tell reporters that he expects a decision on the environmental impact statement by the end of the year. Pybus Public Market played host Saturday to an event that put the spotlight on volunteerism and the multitude of charitable organizations in the Wenatchee area that are in need of volunteer help. NCW Life's Megan McPherson was there and filed this report.
Hey, we're here with Allie Lares, the Marketing and Operations Coordinator for Pybus Market, and we're at Nonprofit Day. Allie, what is Nonprofit Day?
So Nonprofit Day is just a chance for local nonprofits in the Valley to come down and have a table to be in front of the public and promote their organization. We've got Friends of the Wenatchee Public Library, GWADA, the Wenatchee Museum and Cultural Center, we've got the Wenatchee River Institute, we've got CASA down here, we've got SAGE, so we've got over 40 nonprofits down here today. All of these nonprofits are listed on our website, and that's pybusmarket.org, and it's listed on the event on our event calendar. So you can go there to check out a full list of the nonprofits that we have here today. But come down here, and it's really great to talk to these people and see what these amazing organizations have to offer in the Valley. And it's always great to come down and have a conversation with these people in person because they're doing some really great things. This event is a really great example of some of the great things Pybus Market Charitable Foundation is bringing to the Valley. Part of the foundation's mission is to engage in charitable activities that build community and support other nonprofits as well. So this is just a really great event that we do down here. And like our motto, where community meets, that's exactly what's happening down here today with all these nonprofits having a presence down here.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much, Allie.
Thank you.
Megan McPherson, NCW Life News.
Thank you, Megan. The Port of Chelan County announced late last week that part of the $1.2 million renovation of the annex at Pybus Public Market will include a business incubator designed to target technology startup businesses. The port will lease 1,950 square feet of the second floor of the new annex to house office and meeting spaces. The port says the incubator will help reduce costs and assess risks associated with starting a new business. The renovation of the rebuilt annex space at Pybus Market began in early February and is expected to be completed as early as this July. You're watching the NCW Life Evening News. Coming up next, your sports update today with Jay Seebeck, who will be in for Eric Granstrom this week. And we also have coming up our feature story tonight. That and much more still to come on the NCW Life Evening News. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Blair from Works, your workout prescription. Have you ever started an exercise program and then struggled to keep it going? So what if I told you that with this MyZone device, I could increase your chances of self-motivated exercise adherence by over 200%. Combine that with an exercise prescription specifically for your level of readiness, we'll increase it even more. And that's our new member success system. It's $99, it's exclusively at Works. It includes your MyZone belt. Works, yourworkoutrx.com.
Papa Murphy's presents a fresh take on unbaked. Who wants an unbaked pizza? You do. Because unbaked means unprocessed dough and unfrozen vegetables, all prepared fresh by us. So the difference between a pizza fresh from your oven and one pulled from a greasy delivery box? Unreal. The smell? Unbelievable. Leftovers? Unlikely. Home bake a large Papa's all meat with Canadian bacon, salami, pepperoni, Italian sausage, and ground beef. Just $12. Papa Murphy's. Love at 425 degrees.
Thursday night, hockey night on the NCW Life Channel. It all begins at 7 o'clock with a call of the Wild and Clarkie's Corner. Then it's non-stop hockey action with a voice of the Wild, Arch Ecker. Join us as the Wild battle the rest of the BCHL. Thursday night is hockey night on the NCW Life Channel.
And now it's a sports update on the NCW Life Channel.
Welcome to your Monday evening sports. I'm Jay Seebeck. The Wenatchee Wild have moved on to the next round of the BCHL playoffs after defeating Vernon in Game 6 Saturday at the Town Toyota Center 4-3 in overtime. It marked the second consecutive night the two teams played extra, as the Wild won at Vernon Friday in double overtime, winning 3-2. Things didn't look good early for the home team Saturday as Vernon got out to a quick lead. Our checker had the call on the Wenatchee Wild Hockey Network.
Back the other direction, here come the Vipers. He got help, the shot scored. Derek Brown with a shot from the left circle. He had help with Lambert going up the middle, but Brown pulled the trigger. And from the left circle, he rips it home. A low, hard shot on the blocker's side. Swetlikoff works it back ahead for Brown. Brown comes in over to the right side, shot, and a score by Lambert. He's in, up high for Zek. Back to Galambus, he unloads, he scores! Zach Galambus rockets at top shelf. Shoveled back down low by Stratton, back out in front for Karamanis, he's in, he shoots, and he scores! Turned over by the Wild in the defensive zone. It bounced to Karamanis, and he was able to step in alone. Had no one in front. He made a nice move, cut hard to his right, and tucked it in around behind Park, low on the glove side. And it hit his skate as well, and now it's Weatherby. He shoots, he scores! Jasper Weatherby rocketed that shot high on the glove side. Off the bar and in. Sharply across left side, Zach shot, tipped in front, score! And we are tied at 3. Libby jams it down low. It's for Souter. He gets tangled up, cleared successfully by the Vipers. That's going to about kill it off, and they are going to dodge a huge bullet, but this game is going to be decided for the second night in a row in sudden death overtime. He comes over on the near side, spins, he shoots, save made, rebound, cleared not out. Vanderbeck again, shot, score! Signed, sealed, delivered. Game over, series over. The Wenatchee Wild win it in overtime.
After losing the first 2 games of the series, Wenatchee came back to win 4 straight. Advancing to the Interior Division Finals, the Wild await tonight's Game 7 winner between Penticton and Trail to know their next opponent. Following tonight's game in the Peach City, they'll finalize dates, times, and locations for Wenatchee's next best-of-7 playoff series. Turning to the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard from the weekend, in baseball, Jared Rubosh threw a 7-inning perfect game for the Wenatchee Panthers Friday in an 11-0 win over Davis. Wenatchee came back to score 7 runs in the 7th inning of the nightcap to also win it 10-7. Eastmont split with Eisenhower and Kashmir downing Ording. On Saturday, Kashmir swept Chelan, and the Cascade at Omak doubleheader was rained out. In softball play Friday, Eastmont swept Eisenhower 17-14 and 24-14, while Wenatchee swept Davis 17-1 and 16-0. Games that were scheduled for Saturday were rained out and will have to be made up at a later date. On the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard in boys soccer, we have Cascade. They blanked Prosser 1-0. Wenatchee traveled to Eisenhower and shut out the Cadets 4-0, and Eastmont hosted Davis and took a 4-3 overtime win. Saturday, Royal shut out Kashmir 4-0. Chelan and Granger was postponed. The Wenatchee Valley Thunder scored early and often in a 15-3 win over Hermiston. Mason Dahlbeck, Gray Coldy, and Robbie Jorgensen each had 3 goals for Wenatchee as the Thunder improved to 2-1 on the season, 2-0 in league play. They'll host Chiawana Saturday at 1 o'clock here on the NCW Life channel. And speaking of the TV station you're watching, here's what we have on tap for the sports broadcast scheduled this week. It begins tomorrow night at the Apple Bowl, where Wenatchee hosts Eastmont in boys soccer. Sebastian Moraga and Matt Wisen have the call beginning at 7 p.m. We'll feature Wenatchee's Game 4 with Vernon Thursday night during Hockey Night at 7 p.m. Then on Friday, it's Wenatchee and Sunnyside Baseball from Rec Park. We'll be up at the broadcast of the second game of the doubleheader around 5:30. Then, as we mentioned, Chiawana and Wenatchee lacrosse Saturday at 1, followed by Game 5 between Wenatchee and Vernon in the BCHL playoffs Saturday night at 7. The Final Four is set in the NCAA men's basketball tournament, and there's still a Cinderella story in the making. Number 11 seed Loyola Chicago made it to the Final Four in San Antonio by downing number 9 Kansas State Saturday 78-62. They'll face number 3 seed Michigan Saturday at 3 p.m. on TBS after the Wolverines punched their ticket Saturday with a 58-54 win over Florida State. The other semifinal features 2 number 1s as Villanova will battle Kansas. Nova advanced with Sunday's 71-59 win over number 3 Texas Tech. The Jayhawks move forward with yesterday's 85-81 win over number 2 seeded Duke. Villanova and Kansas will tip it up Saturday at 5:49 on TBS. The Mariners wrapped up spring training at Peoria Sports Complex Sunday with an 11-7 win over San Diego. Seattle slapped 6 doubles in the game as Nelson Cruz went 2 for 3 with a double and a 2-run home run. James Paxton put in his last work of the spring, going 5 innings, allowing 2 earned runs on 6 hits while striking out another 6. Seattle has today off before traveling to Scottsdale tomorrow to face Colorado at 12:10. Opening day at Safeco Field is set for Thursday against Cleveland, with Felix Hernandez getting the nod for his 10th consecutive opening day start.
Thank you, Jay. Time now for tonight's feature story. The Northwest Mariachi Festival was held on Friday at the Town Toyota Center. Our local high school mariachi band, led by director Ramon Rivera, opened the concert.
Are we ready? ¿Estamos listos, sí o no? Vamos a aplaudir por este gran mariachi. Un fuerte aplauso para el mariachi. Wenatchee, sí, señor.
We'll be back in just a moment with the recap of some of our top stories and your complete local weather forecast right after this.
Lake Chelan mailboxes find solutions and the best price for all your shipping needs, including UPS, FedEx, and the U.S. Postal Service. We offer a variety of services including quality copies of all sizes, faxing, scanning, sending and receiving email, laminating, and notarizing. Enjoy browsing through our large selection of greeting cards. Lake Chelan Mailboxes supports our military, fire victims, and our community. Come see us at the Plaza in Lake Chelan.
I'm Jenny Rojanasatian, and this is Guada TV. Every week we will be bringing you a first look at North Central Washington business, tech, and education news. You'll hear from local influencers and innovators who live right here in the Valley. Together, we'll discuss hot topics, current events, and resources that can support your business, our schools, and this community. Join me every week, and let's get inspired.
And now a recap of some of our top stories. Wenatchee and Eastmont High School students took to the streets of Wenatchee Saturday with their message of hope for safer schools. The March for Your Life event brought out over 500 enthusiastic supporters for a pre-march rally in the parking lot of the old Hastings bookstore.
Thoughts and prayers won't bring back the students of Sandy Hook. It won't bring back the 17 victims of the Parkland shooting. It won't bring back the hundreds of lives lost. We demand change. Ban bump stocks. Ban high-capacity magazines. Require safes in homes. Pass laws to reform education. Improve mental health. Do something! Students, teachers, parents, community members, we are out here today to make a change. We are using our voices for those who cannot. A walkout or a march are not enough. When Washington State voted on the ban of bump stocks a few weeks ago, Senator Brad Hawkins, Representative Mike Steele, and Representative Carrie Kanata all voted against it. They failed our communities when we needed them the most. We need to vote for government officials who will do something to protect us. We need to contact our legislators and representatives and demand they make change in our communities. Who is 18? Or at least 18. Here's a better question. Who is not registered to vote yet?
Right here. Register here.
We have a registration booth today. If you are 18 and able to register to vote and use democracy to your power. Thank you all for being a part of this march today. This is the start of a conversation, so let's continue it. Up next, speaking is Beth Javilicek.
The march was well attended and well behaved. There were no counter demonstrations as the march procession ended at Memorial Park. The event was one of hundreds held around the country in memory of the victims of the Parkland, Florida school shooting. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office shared this photo on their Facebook page over the weekend. The sheriff reports a deputy impounded a vehicle in the Wenatchee area on March 21st. During a search of that vehicle, they found 18 pounds of methamphetamine inside. The investigation continues. A judge has sentenced a former East Wenatchee Water District Commissioner to over 4 years in prison for molesting an 8-year-old boy. Michael Mccourt was in Douglas County Superior Court last week, where visiting Judge David Estudillo sentenced him to 51 months in prison. Mccourt had agreed to a plea deal in which he pleaded guilty to child molestation after originally being charged with child rape. Mccourt also admitted to committing additional child sex crimes dating back to the 1980s. His sentence also requires he register as a sex offender and remain under court monitoring the rest of his life. Mccourt lost his bid for re-election to the Water District last year. He also loses his position as commissioner of the Douglas County Sewer District because of that felony conviction. Washington State Patrol says 3 people were injured in a 2-vehicle crash near Mattawa early Sunday morning. The accident happened when a 2012 Kia ran a stop sign at the intersection of State Route 243 and Road 26, about 2 miles south of Mattawa. The Kia struck a 2015 Chrysler driven by a Desert Air resident. Following the collision, both vehicles came to rest, blocking that intersection. Both drivers and a passenger in the Chrysler were injured in the crash and transported to Cadlick Medical Center in Richland. The driver of the Kia was charged with failure to yield the right-of-way and vehicular assault. State Patrol says either drugs or alcohol were involved in the accident, and the investigation continues. Time now for a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. And after a decent weekend, we did see some clouds out there this morning. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, plenty of snow happening to the west and to the north of us in the Cascades, but we are pretty much precipitation free here in the Wenatchee area. What we're seeing as we take a look at our satellite loop is a warm front that passed through the region today. That brought those scattered rain showers to parts of our area. But snow amounts by tonight, as I mentioned, will reach to around the 12-inch range in the Cascades, includes both Stevens and Snoqualmie passes. This could create some travel issues over both passes tonight and tomorrow morning. The rain shadow effect of the Cascades did limit precipitation amounts here in north central Washington. We did have a 20% chance of moisture today, and that will diminish pretty much to isolated showers by tonight. As this weather system passes on Tuesday, we'll see some windy conditions develop with steady speeds around 10 to 20 miles an hour, gusting up to 25. On Wednesday, the northwest flow will persist over north central Washington, and the air mass will become increasingly drier as an area of high pressure moves in, bringing us some very nice weather in the middle and towards the end of next week, with highs in the upper 50s and lower 60s. Let's take a look at that forecast now, and tonight will drop down to 40 degrees, maybe a lingering shower or two. 60 your high temperature tomorrow, but remember, lots of wind for Tuesday. 59 Wednesday, 60 degrees on Thursday. Friday looks beautiful, partly cloudy and mild, and 61. Just a slight cool down then as we move into the weekend. 58 Saturday and 55 your high on Sunday. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around north central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. Also, keep it right here on the NCW Life channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz and News with Steve Hare. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.
This is TV. This is TV Set Free. TV everywhere from Localtel sets you free to watch what you want, where you want. Catch your favorite networks, including live TV, ready to watch on any web-connected device for no extra charge. That's TV Set Free. Enjoy the extra value Localtel delivers with TV everywhere. Visit localtel.net and sign up today.